All right, we're going to continue with section 2.6 in Quantway Core. We're going to skip number 2 and go on to numbers 3 and 4 on page 226 and 227. So there's a couple of things that we're going to focus on in these next couple of exercises. The first thing is the mean, which we talked about in the previous video. And the formula for that, again, is the total amount divided by the number of values. And that holds in any sense of the word mean. And I'll show you a specific example in a moment. So the other thing we're going to look at is median. Another measurement of a group of values is a median. And as you can see from the definition here, the median is the middle value in an ordered list. The key here being ordered. And what ordered means is you need to put the numbers in numerical order first before you find the middle. And so to illustrate these two concepts, we're going to take a look at an example. So for this example, we are going to go around the room and ask everybody how much money they have in their pockets. Well, we're going to ask 5 people anyhow. And so we asked 5 people, and this is one person had $31, one person had $100, and so on. So we know that we're going to have to calculate the median here. So that means we need an ordered list. This list is not in order. So before we go any farther, we're going to rearrange these numbers and put them in order. There we go. That was easy. So now we can find the middle value. It's kind of easy with 5. We can just eyeball it. But we start on each end and cross out those two, and the middle value is 31. So clearly our median is 31. Okay, for the mean, we need to add these numbers up. And the order doesn't matter when we add, of course. So we're going to add 148, 31, 24, and 7. And you can, of course, do this on your calculator if you want. And we see that the total amount of money that everybody has in the room is $210. So this is the total, just like when we talked about the total amount of water used in the United States or the total number of people in New York State. This is the total amount of money. And we're going to divide that by the number of values we added up here. And we see that the average amount is 42, or the mean value is $42. So our mean for this data is 42. Okay, so let's suppose a 6th person walks in the room, and this person has no money in their pocket. They have $0 in their pocket. Well, and we want to calculate what the new mean and median is for the amount of money everybody has in their pocket. And as you well know, even if a value is 0, it gets counted into an average. And you know this if you ever got a 0 on a test or an assignment. It definitely affects your average. So let's put these numbers in order. Okay, that was easy. We just put that 0 down at the bottom. And so let's do the mean first this time. We've already totaled these numbers, and we know that that 0 isn't going to change the total. But what we do need to do, so the total is 210, but instead of 5 people, we now have 6 people. We now have 6 people. So we do the division and see that the average amount of money has gone down to $35 per person, down from 42. So that person with an empty pocket definitely brought the average down, the mean down. So now how about the median? So if we kind of work our way in from the outside, we see that there's no middle value here. There's no one value in the middle. There's in fact 2 values in the middle, the 24 and the 31. So the way you handle this, the way you calculate the median when there's an even number of values is actually pretty simple. You take the 2 middle values, in this case the 24 and the 31, you add them together, and then whatever that sum is, you divide it by 2. So you're basically averaging together those two middle values. So 24 plus 31 is 55. And 55 divided by 2 is 27.5. So we would say for this new group that the mean is $35 and the median is $27.50. So this I just copied out of the bottom of page, I think 226 there. This is what you're going to be using to answer the questions in number 3. And so let me just look at this table because it can be a little confusing. So you basically have 4 groups of students here: Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D. And this means you're going to completely ignore these little numbers up at the top there. They're just kind of extra. And you have 4 groups. And so you're going to find the mean for this group of values here. That's Group A. Group B, you're going to find the mean of these values. And the same for Group C and Group D. And then I believe also they're going to ask you to find the median of those individual groups also. So you're going to calculate 4 individual different values for these next couple of problems. So there's a couple of tricky questions in there, so I'm going to give you a little hint for those. Number 3B asks you to come up with a list of students whose mean debt is $4,100. And this means come up with your own. Don't just copy one that's already there in the book. Come up with your own list of students. And the debt of the individual students can be anything you want it to be. The only caveat is that the mean of those values needs to be $4,100. And my hint here is, in order for that mean of those values you make up to be $4,100, what would the total debt for these 5 imaginary students have to be? So if you added everybody's debt together, what would it have to be in order to give you a mean of $4,100? And you can look back to 3A and those calculations you did to get a hint for that. Okay, the other tricky one here is number 4 that asks you to make up a list of 6 imaginary students that has the same median as the median for college freshmen. So one thing you're going to have to do is go back to page 225 and read through that paragraph to figure out what that median for a freshman actually is. And your second challenge is coming up with your imaginary list. And to give you a hint for that, I've called back this list of values that we used as an example. And remember, when we calculated the median, we looked at these 2 values in the center here, and we averaged them together to get our median. So here's my hint. So what would happen if this guy down here was $7, was hungry because it was lunchtime, and spent that $7 until he had $0 also? And let's say that this guy with $100 over here went to the bank and hit the cash machine, and instead of $100 now has $400. And let's say that this person with $48 spent $10, also hungry. They went out to lunch with the guy with $7 though, and spent $10 and now only has $38. So all those values changed, right? So what is the new median? The mean has certainly changed because we'd have to total these together and we'd get a different value. But what about the median? Has the median changed? And furthermore, does it matter what these 2 values are or what these 2 values are, as long as these 2 are bigger than this and these 2 are smaller than this? Doesn't matter at all. So give that some thought as you come up with your imaginary list of students whose median is the value that you find in the paragraph there. All right, Well, good luck with those problems, and take a look at number 3 and 4 on page 226 and 227. Thank you for your attention.